Here at the NAB Show 2016, we had a lot of new products using HDR, 4K and other new technical things. But there was another big discussion, and that discussion was about QuickTime.
As our development target, we were working to support more formats natively without using QuickTime. So we are going to, accelerate the work for that.
You don't have to deinstall it. It's only if you believe that the security susceptibility that the US government is pointing to, and they're talking about quite an extreme case, is what I see.
1 week ago, it was like this, that suddenly it was announced that there were some security issues with QuickTimes on Windows PCs. And even the US government said, please deinstall QuickTime to avoid security problems. For many users, this is not an issue, because if you used iPhone because you have a iPod, iPad or iPhone, then usually you don't really need QuickTime, but you probably have installed it together with iTunes. But for video professionals, they need QuickTime to decode some codecs like ProRes. And even there are some other solutions on the market which use QuickTime for other things. So we heard a lot about different discussions, and we asked to manufacturers to give us a short statement about the problematic. So we asked Alex, the product manager from Grass Valley, from the product EDIUS, the editing solution, to give us a short idea about the situation inside Grass Valley about QuickTime.
I'm sorry, I can't give out an official statement right now, but as far as we know, so we've gotten the news last week regarding QuickTime that it is required to be removed from systems for its security risk. And it's, what we are doing right now is currently trying to analyze the current situation on what will happen if you remove QuickTime out from an EDIUS system. And we are currently testing now that which functions will or will not be provided in that case. So originally, as our development target, we were working to support more formats natively without using QuickTime. So we are going to, accelerate the work for that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to provide that right away, but definitely we would like to send out the information as soon as possible, and also hopefully send out an update in the near future, which allows those functionalities back again by supporting natively within EDIUS.
So you could hear that Alex, of course this was not an official statement from Grass Valley. They're preparing something to be released about this issue, but it's giving a good impression to see, okay, what parts of EDIUS are involved in this, in the loss of QuickTime. Of course, ProRes is one thing, because ProRes codec is needed to decode the ProRes files, and also EDIUS is using some picture formats from QuickTime to import and export pictures. I think the picture issue, that's something Grass Valley can fix very easily and very fast. But of course with ProRes, it might be a problem where Apple has to do something. We'll have to look how this situation will be in the future. Of course, we also wanted to know from a company like Atomos, who's using ProRes in hardware and recording their files typically in ProRes, what this QuickTime problematic does mean for them. So here is a comment from Jeremy at Atomos.
From my understanding, and I haven't read a lot about it, but I have heard about it, is that there's a security issue in some of the libraries or something of the older QuickTime Player that hasn't been supported by Apple for a while. But it is the player that a lot of people use to play back ProRes in the professional world. You don't have to deinstall it. It's only if you believe that the security susceptibility that the US government is pointing to, and they're talking about quite an extreme case, is what I see. You need to read it yourself, see if it's an issue for you. I would continue to use, personally, from what I've read, I would continue to use it until I get more information. There are also other players that are licensed from Apple, not just QuickTime, that can play for free ProRes and those type of files. I think if people are really worried about their workflow and they don't want the security issue and they're concerned, then they should switch to another different type of decoder on the Windows platform for ProRes. But I don't see a big issue. You can panic or you can think about it. And in thinking about it, I think that I know that there's 3 other players that you could use that are approved by Apple, that can play back your ProRes, and you can still finish and edit and everything on Apple, and we can deliver to customers with Windows in either a QuickTime, don't deinstall, or go to a different player.
So you don't see a big issue?
No, I don't see a big issue. I mean, it sounds big, US government, Apple, these 2 things, but it's not. I don't think it's that big of. Look, I think they need to address it in some way, either a new player. My suggestion, if I was in Apple, would be a new player. I don't think they're going to do a patch for the old player. So I'd probably move now to a different player.
So you see, he's talking about using a different player, for example, to have the possibility to play back the files which you record with a Atomos field recorder like the Shigun. And there are decoders on the market which are able to do so. So probably it wouldn't be a big problem to find a solution there as well. But for the moment, I think it's a good idea to just use QuickTime also and not deinstall it. Why? It's like this, that the security issue is that there is something like a backdoor if you are using your browser and going to a website which is hacked. And on this website there is some QuickTime component which is asking QuickTime Player to play back a video file and at the same time opening up the possibility to infect your computer. But that will only happen if you have a plugin, a QuickTime plugin installed in your browser. And that's usually, in fact, not the case. You can check in your browser if you have a QuickTime plugin activated. In most cases, this is not the case. But you can check. And the other thing is that QuickTime could be used if you have an infected file on your PC, on a USB stick or something. And then there would also be the possibility that your computer could be hacked, or that there could be a backdoor. But this could only happen if you're using QuickTime for playback a file. And usually on a PC you can use like a VLC player to playback all kinds of movie files. So you don't need QuickTime. What we would suggest you to do is to disconnect QuickTime. So you can inside Windows select what kind of player should be opened when you open a movie file and a MOV file, and you can simply say, okay, I don't want to use QuickTime for that. Then in the future, when you open up even an affected file, the VLC player will not have a problem. By doing so, you will solve the problem which is there as a security issue, and in the same time, on your PC, you still will have QuickTime and the full components to use with your editing solution like EDIUS, Adobe Premiere, and many others who are still using QuickTime. So far, this small comments about QuickTime from the NAB 2016.